You'll never manage the next branch in your family tree if you don't show more industry than that.
Oh, really?
What a pickup line. Hey, girl, you want to expand your family tree?
Hello.
Hey there.
Welcome back to another episode. Pineapple and lemon. Super Saiyan in the background. Today, we're doing another TV show, and it's actually one of my absolute favorite TV shows.
This is a Christina recommend.
It is 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend. We'll be watching Outlander, Season 1, Episode 1, The Sassenach.
I don't know anything about Outlander, so I can't comment.
This is right up my alley. I'm very much like the period piece kind of genre, and this fits in with like everything. I just when I first started watching this, it was probably when the first season was partway through airing live, when Show Me was a thing.
Oh,
way back when. I just was watching Game of Thrones, was watching Doctor Who, and I was like, okay. So I saw the trailer for this, and you know what? Period piece, time travel, kind of right up my alley. So I started watching it, and I fell in love with it like right away. But it's quite interesting. It's very well done. I think the acting is well done. I think I've watched the first season, like maybe 6 times.
okay.
Because every time a new season's getting ready to come out, I'll go back and I'll rewatch because, Droughtlander is a thing.
Okay.
That's what us fans call it. Hashtag Droughtlander. So we go back and we re-binge. We definitely have, like our favorite seasons we, they're good, but we don't really like to talk about.
Sure.
But again, everyone has their like favorite moments. I think season 1 for me is my favorite. I definitely like the feel of them being in Scotland. I've definitely learned a lot about Scotland and its history.
Yeah.
And it definitely puts things in a different perspective because you really, like for us in school, we learned about Canadian history and British history. Primarily England. We never really learned Irish or Scottish history.
Yeah, not in depth.
Like I said, there are 6 seasons so far. We're currently waiting for the 7th to come out. The series started in 2014, and it has a generalized rating of 13 plus.
Okay.
So it's definitely, a bit for like, mature audience. So it's definitely, I would encourage you guys to do a bit of research before you go in so you don't get caught off guard.
So for someone, maybe like myself, who has not seen this before, if you could just give like a really quick, like, what is the show?
So the IMDb plot summary is very short and sweet and does not give you anything away.
Okay.
They've just like summarized in like a sentence, really. They're like, an English combat nurse from 1945 is mysteriously swept back in time to 1743.
When we do our TV shows, we usually watch the first episode, and then if people like it enough or they want to see us do some more, we can talk about doing more down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do more Outlander down the line.
Christina already voted yes.
I voted yes, so you guys can back me up with the likes and the comments down below.
So definitely leave us comments down below if you've seen it, or maybe you watch it after this video and you have things to talk to Christina about because she wants to talk about it.
I love talking about this show. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Just kidding, I always talk about it and people just tell me to shut up. I'm just gonna say I love the scoring for this. It's done by Bear McCreary, and this song that opens is like my favorite. Oh, I love it so much.
You just listen to this all the time?
Yeah, Spotify recognized this as one of my most listened to last year. That and the Merlin soundtrack, actually.
Wow.
Because I have it on my sleeping playlist. So it just cycles through. I can't control it.
This lulls you to sleep.
It's great.
Like the moment I'd realized I'd never owned a vase.
Do you own a vase?
I do have quite a few, actually. But they're not as intricate as that one there. That vase is very beautiful.
I don't believe I own a vase.
I can give you one. I got quite a few. I feel like it's one of the most popular things you get like from a yard sale.
Yeah.
Vases. Because people get them for like birthdays, anniversaries, and all that jazz.
I sometimes wonder what would have happened if I'd bought that vase and made a home for it.
She just really likes that vase, eh?
She really likes that vase.
It's a life-changing vase.
I really like how they do the voiceover. So these are like from the book. There was quite a period of time where they just stopped doing it.
Okay.
And then the fans were like, guys, bring it back. And then they ended up bringing it back.
Yeah, weird choice to like drop it partway through.
Yeah. I think it's just because they were so like story focused that they're like, just get right into it. The theme song is always the same, except that they change it each season.
So it's not always the same.
So it's the same lyrics.
Okay.
They just changed like the music.
Yeah, like it's a different
backtracking. Yeah, so because they're in Scotland, it's, you get the bagpipes and, that sort of like Scottish feel. And then there's a time where they maybe go to Jamaica and you get like the Jamaican sound that kind of reflects like where they are. Another interesting thing that they do is each season finale has them either panning to the sea or panning to the land, depending on whether we're traveling away or traveling to.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of like artistic creativity there.
Yeah, like a thought process actually going into it.
Yeah, everything is there on purpose. There's no Starbucks drinks in this.
That we know of.
That we know.
That vase, it says Starbucks on it.
Just Starbucks cup right beside it.
You've picked a bonny time to be here, just nigh on Samhain.
I take it that's Gaelic for Halloween.
Do they celebrate Halloween in a lot of parts of like Europe and other places?
It depends on where specifically. So Scotland will celebrate like Samhain, whereas like we would celebrate Halloween,
right?
Because the Americanized version of it. And I don't know, like I don't study like other European history, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. But if anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah.
You'll never manage the next branch in your family tree if you don't show more industry than that.
Oh, really?
What a pickup line. Hey, girl, you want to expand your family tree?
I hate to sketch this.
My hand.
I had a very clear memory of this pattern.
I would never know what another person's hand looks like. Like, that is not something I would
photographic memory.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I remember the indents on your hand.
Your fingerprint.
Yeah. That looked like brown sugar.
We couldn't get sand, so we got brown sugar. Hope it's okay, guys.
So we're going to make a cake later.
They had the Mackenzie clan until midway through the 19th century.
So the one thing I love about Scotland is that they have the right to roam. So unless it's private property, they're allowed to just explore.
Well, I'm surprised even like a place like this, they just leave it to like ruin.
So so a lot of castles in Scotland, unless privately owned, are in disrepair and ruin because in the 60s they started in like charging property tax on anything that had a roof. So they essentially just took the roofs off all the castles.
Yeah.
Because it just got too expensive with the tax. And they fell into ruin.
That's sad.
Which is very sad. You lost so much history because you started making them pay an additional tax.
Yeah.
On a property that was already expensive and hard to manage.
For having a roof. Jeez.
For having a roof, yeah. Because you can't charge a housing tax if there's no roof.
Right.
So a lot of these are in disrepair unless you have like millions of dollars that you can purchase and
just lying
redo
around.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be another moon pool?
No, it's not a moon pool.
With all the mermaids hanging
No.
I'm getting similar feeling from it.
Show me your hand, dear.
Oh, the famous hand. The hand that one man has memorized completely.
Yes, I feel a bath is in order.
Is she gonna get electrocuted in a bathtub?
You know what? That would be a really funny plot twist, but no, unfortunately not.
Okay.
Electrocuted in a bathtub.
That's how you get sent back in time, right? A mysterious man is afoot. Probably doesn't resolve for 4 years,
It
right?
hasn't been resolved yet.
Okay.
I'm so irritated. I want to know. I want to know how.
I love you,
And nothing you could ever do could stop my loving you.
I'm just gonna file that for later.
Yeah, it seems like we're heading down a dangerous road with that line.
I feel like we should bring back long nightgowns. What's your take on that?
Well, usually my apartment's pretty hot, so I think a long nightgown might be a bit much, but I mean,
But,
you
like,
do
if
you.
If it's like a light cotton.
Just so you can wander around at night with like a candlestick or
Yeah. And feel like super fancy.
yeah,
Why not?
stand at the top of a staircase, arms open.
Woo. I mean, I would get one. Like a silk one, that'd be nice. Nice and cool. Because if you have like the shorter nightgowns, they always like fly up when you're sleeping. So there's like no point. So if you have a longer one, then maybe you would fly up.
I feel like I get like tangled up in it or something.
It goes to get out of bed, falls out of the bed, and rolls around.
Where will we be watching this spectacle?
A place called Craig Nadoon.
She gonna make a witch mad and then get sent back in time?
No.
Reverend's housekeeper is a witch.
Not a witch, druid, remember?
There's a difference.
The greater good.
The good are good.
It really does feel like something they shouldn't have been watching.
Yeah.
Like they're just hiding in the background.
On this like secret ritual.
Mm-hmm. Is she gonna eat a flower and then get sent back into time?
No. It's not a flower.
Oh, but maybe eating. I'm getting closer.
I like the theories. They're so fun.
That is as close as I can come to describing what I experienced. But it falls woefully short.
So she touched the magic rock,
She touched the stones.
and that's transportive magic.
Yes.
Okay.
But only to those selected to be a traveler.
Oh, okay.
So like if you had noticed earlier, Frank touched it
Oh, and he didn't
and
travel.
he didn't do anything. So typically it's indicated by
Their hands.
no. So signs are like if you're near the stone and you hear a buzzing sound.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in one of the later seasons, we find out that someone's a traveler because they held a stone and it got really hot and cracked. So those are kind of things like some people think that you need to sacrifice to travel through the stones. Mostly you just need like a gemstone.
Okay, because I was saying, what has she done? Like
She did not use a sacrifice any times in which she travels through
that
the stones.
you know of.
I know all.
Next season, all will be revealed. Oops. There's your boy. How do you get her up there?
For nothing else.
Murta can do whatever he wants to do.
But like, and get her to stay upright.
It's Murta.
She'd be falling over.
The plaid will keep us both warm, but can I do it one-handed? Can you reach?
Wow, what a circumstance for romance. Huddled in the rain under my plaid.
How romantic.
17th and 18th centuries, you'd have often found a British Army patrol up there.
It's a good thing she was actually listening to what he said instead
Yeah,
of
right? Can you
Just-
imagine if she didn't listen at all?
trying to memorize everything. No.
Goodbye!
Yeah, really. Just throw you right off the horse. It's all about these hands, I'm telling you.
The hands.
You gotta watch the show for the hands.
Jazz hands.
And somehow, I knew that my journey had only just begun.
Well, I mean, yeah. We're at
It is
the
the first
start. You think it's gonna be over in the next 5 minutes? Like,
That's it, roll credits. Here you go.
There you go.
What'd you think?
I
Your
think
first experience.
the story is interesting.
Mhm.
I like how they're planting some seeds of like what is actually going on. Like you were saying, that man by like the lamp post and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This was really kind of talking about like them mentioning all the ancestors and the history and everything, so you can be caught up as an audience for when they actually go into the past. So I think from my perspective, I'm kind of like, what else are they going to do with this kind of time travel dynamic? That's where my mind's at right now.
Yeah. How did you feel about them using the same actor to play Frank and his ancestor?
I think that was a good choice because it had more of an impact for me as a viewer, because if you had just shown a random dude and had been like, oh, it's his ancestor, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
But showing it's him, you know right away, like, that's what it's supposed to be, right? So I don't know, clearly I haven't watched more of this. I don't know if that happens like later on in the series where it's like you meet people's ancestors and it's always the same actor or actress, but I think it worked for what they were doing with this.
Is this something that you think you would consider like watching more of?
I think I'd give it some more episodes to see kind of how the story goes. I know you're saying like maybe there's some seasons you don't like as much as other seasons, but I think even just giving like the first season a try would be something that I would like consider doing, and see like what happens from there, because like I just don't know. But yeah, I think for me, like I was saying before, like if the story is interesting enough, then like I don't really care about if it's like a certain genre or anything like that. It's just like, is the story itself something that I want to keep watching?
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? Very smiley.
It's like, let's continue. Like, I'm ready to go.
Well, I don't think we'll have time to do all of that today.
It definitely, like, you can definitely tell, like, the first episode's all set up. The second episode onwards is, like, kind of when you get into, like, a bit more of it, like, her experience of, like, oh my gosh, I've traveled back in time. Like, the next episode, like near the beginning is, like, her trying to figure out, like, what time period am I in?
Right.
Obviously, she's an English woman in Scotland when it's not a nice time to be an English woman in Scotland. And so she's trying her damnedest to remember everything that Frank had taught her.
Yep.
The history she learned, what she learned in school, to try and fit in as much as possible. And kind of like the effects that has. But like, you definitely meet some more interesting characters as you go through that have very important things about them.
Okay.
They're like in it and they go and come back later on. So it definitely like is a lot of setup.
And I mean, for a pilot, that's like a good thing that they set up things for an interesting concept. Because some pilots like just aren't very good, and then some are like really good. So it's like helpful to have, here's the premise in the first episode, so it can diverge from there, but at least this is getting the ball rolling for where the story is going.
Definitely.
And it is like, it's well shot, which is also nice, having like all the landscapes and everything. It might not have like a Game of Thrones type budget, but they do use their budget well and have interesting shots, different scenes. Like, I'm curious to see how big that kind of gets in terms of world building and like the locations they go to and the other types of characters they have, because it is like period piece, so they're gonna have different costumes and things like that. But you got to put some money into that for sure if you're gonna make a show like this. So
the nice thing about this though is that in terms of locations, they really only use like one location. They legitimately did film in Scotland.
So that helps.
It's not like they're filming in Vancouver trying to play it off as like
making it look like
somewhere else, right? Or filming in Toronto and making it feel like New York. Like they're definitely like 1,000% filming in Scotland, even to the point like in some other seasons when they're no longer in the show in Scotland, they're still filming in Scotland,
right?
So they're very much like trying to keep it filmed local, which is nice.
That is good.
No, I think like it's definitely like, I guess you would call like a slow burn. Like it's definitely like a lot of information scattered about throughout the season, so it's definitely something like you got to invest some time into it. And like I said, there's so many small details in it that you might not catch the first time around. So if you have to, you should watch it a second or even a third time, because then you just pick up on more. And for me, having seen it, it doesn't ruin the like awe and like mystery of it. Like, I know what's gonna happen, but every time I watch it, I always like find something new.
Right. Or it's like informing what you had already seen and strengthening it instead of like taking away from it.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple episodes like late in the later seasons that are just jam-packed full of like little Easter eggs and like callbacks to previous episodes that like even I haven't like sat down and like pinpointed all of them. But it's definitely like I find it's rewarding to be able to go back and be like, oh, there's that, and that makes more sense, and it just like pieces everything together.
Would you say this show is good of like setup payoff, or is it really like a lot of kind of drawn out?
No, I think it's definitely very good on like setup and payoff. The only thing that we don't have payoff on yet is the figure outside of the window.
And that could be like a series finale.
I think that's gonna be a finale thing.
Premiere finale, you know.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a finale thing. It's something that every single time the season's getting ready to come out, we're like, oh, is this gonna be addressed yet? And then the showrunners just don't say anything.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like brushing it aside because it's brought up at every like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Every con that they go to, they're like, oh, what about this scene? Like, when are we gonna get the payoff for it? And I'm pretty sure it's like not even in the book because she's still writing the novels too. So
okay.
I mean, those who have read the book, you can let me know if this has been paid off, and you can tell me which novel that's in because I will go and read it.
I'll find that page.
I'll find that page. But as far as I know, it hasn't been paid off yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely like I feel like the only one off the top that I can think of that hasn't been paid off yet.
That's good that you're getting answers throughout.
Yeah, it's definitely like every episode, like you get a couple answers to some of your questions that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might take a season or two, but you get your answers. Go watch it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below if we should do a season finale react if Maddy binges season 1.
Yeah, Christina's probably going to be really hoping that a lot
I'm
of
really
people want to do more of this.
Guys, I can talk about Outlander for days. Let me know. I'm so down.
Thank you so much for watching with us.
It's been a blast and a half.
Had a really good time.
As always.
You could like this video.
Or subscribe, even better.
If you want to see something for us to watch in the future, like a movie or a TV show, please let us know in the comments.
And we'll get on that right away for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Woohoo!